'Cause I, the one, the enemy. Anyway, you ready to get started? Yeah. Alright. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentleman Character Discussions. I am Sid2, aka Ian Harrington. Joining me today is Alfie, aka Brit Without Fear.
Hey, everyone.
Hi. So Alfie's here to fill in for Steve, who couldn't make it, so we're putting off the Austin Powers discussion for another day, and we'll be rounding out character discussions on Comedy Month with kind of an odd choice here, but I don't know, it seemed like a fitting little wedge to squeeze in, so we'll be talking about Amy the Hedgehog. Now, people might be wondering, why would you be talking about Amy the Hedgehog during Comedy Month? And I don't know, I feel like the way she's written in just about everything is as comic relief. Would you agree with that, Alfie, or no?
Just about everything. There are a couple of examples, which we can go into later. But yeah, definitely in the mainstream Sonic, like in the Japanese area of Sonic, definitely she's 100% comic relief kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
A stereotype.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And then, like, there's other stuff with her that's treated her more for comedy, like the Sonic Boom show.
Well, that
everybody's
one is just...
everybody's wacky in that one, but she has her moments too. Like, I love the Justin Bieber episode; that was pretty good. So, like, I don't know. I find Amy's kind of like that the ultimate fangirl kind of thing to Sonic, and I don't know, I find that kind of amusing, kind of entertaining to read and watch.
Yeah, it's an endearing kind of thing to have just the character who moves as fast as Sonic, and like his whole like idea of being the cool guy who like can never stop moving in one place. Him having an obsessive fangirl who somehow manages to find him no matter where he tries to go at every corner of the earth. It's just like it invites comedy.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like the reverse Pepe Le Pew thing, which I don't know. That's an archetype that is really fun. Now, you mentioned that she's kind of a trope, particularly in Japanese. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, Amy's, if anyone's watched, like, any anime at all, or even just anime-inspired things, you normally get the girl who is very, like, shy, reserved, maybe has a thing for, like, the main guy, who will then immediately beat the living fuck out of people at a moment's notice. This is kind of like the tsundere type of character, and I don't know enough about it to actually tell you where that name comes from. But Amy's a pretty big example of that, especially in terms of just gaming. Like, I think arguably she'd probably be the biggest icon for that trope in the gaming world. And giving her a big old mallet lets a lot of mileage out of that concept.
Yeah. I've definitely seen a lot of stuff with Amy that kind of gets to that you know, I don't know what you call it, like the sudden chibi effect kind of thing that a lot of anime will do.
Yeah.
Like, that comes to mind for me. I see that happen a lot with Amy, and it fits, particularly with the mallet. You know, she'll give people the lumps on the head kind of thing, and that's pretty fun, and it gives a laugh or two. And then there's just other things externally that get a laugh out of me in regards to Amy and Sonic as an item. In particular, like, again, and to go to Sonic Boom, there's an episode where he's laid up all misery style in an obsessive fan's house, and he's reading that fan's fan fiction, and Sonic goes, "Oh, Son Amy, pretty steamy." And he's like, I'm not really into it, but it's kind of obligatory in the genre. Like, that's really funny stuff. It's just, I don't know, like, the whole shipping thing is really funny. So there's kind of this meta level to it where, like, she's kind of at times embodying the fan base that really wants her to be Sonic's girlfriend, and so the writers kind of even get more mileage out of never really putting them together in anything, and I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, you can easily imagine Amy actually writing Son Amy fanfiction.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And then there's just other stuff that I've seen that like plays with the relationship really well. The fantastic fan animation series. It's done by a bunch of different collaborators of the Sonic shorts. They do a lot of great jokes with Amy, just to fantastic comedic effect. Like I remember one, she's chasing Sonic through Green Hill Zone, and he just rolls into a ball and goes through one of those little tube sections, like the S curves.
Yeah.
And then she just like face plants into a wall because Amy's never been able to do that. That was really good. So yeah, I don't
one
know.
of those I enjoy is the one where he gets into it's in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the last like Death Egg launch base zone, and he hits one of the magnet shield, like the electric shield, and like, the entire zone just like starts like flowing over him, like chasing him down. So he goes between every single stage, and he gets to Amy, and Amy's just like Sonic, because he's running towards her for once, and this giant ball of death just encompasses everything.
Yeah, those are pretty good, pretty clever, and I feel it's worth talking about the Sonic fan base whenever we talk about Sonic, because you know, like they do better work than the main team
Like,
most of
easily.
the time. Yeah, like to a shameful degree, and so that's just an interesting little subset that even the fan base, like there's obviously the section of the fan base that's like obsessed with Amy and Sonic, like the whole pairing, but then it seems like the majority of the fan base is like, no, it's hilarious that they're never together. It's interesting to talk about Amy in juxtaposition to Peach, because Peach is there as like the trope of the girl to be rescued kind of thing. Like even the Mario Maker cracks me up whenever people do the 100-man challenge. It always starts with two Goombas kidnapping Princess Peach, and the text just goes, Princess Peach has been taken, ... again. It's just like really self-aware. And Amy is a much more proactive character, even though she did start as that whole like damsel in distress trope. She's a much more proactive character in that she actually does stuff in continuity and not just in, you know, the different like party games or whatever.
Like, yeah, like you even go like compare their first appearances. Like Peach is like at the very end of the game, just in a text box. Amy first shows up in Sonic CD. She's like an obstacle, where she will just grab you and chase you around and like make love hearts go, and you can't physically move. And then Metal Sonic kidnaps you and becomes the damsel. But like she gets her introduction as a gameplay asset, which I think is kind of unique for really any secondary character.
Yeah, and it's interesting because she's really grown and got to be like a bigger part. You know, Sonic Heroes, Amy's got her own team, Team Rose. It's objectively the worst team, but I don't know.
Well, in terms of like
Team
characters,
Chaotix is pretty bad too, but
yeah, like gameplay wise, I think Team Rose actually makes like a lot of the longer levels a bit more tolerable in that game.
fair enough. But God, so I don't know. Like she just gets to be a much more proactive character. Like I think it was Super Mario Bros. Wii U or whatever. You finally got to do a little something with Peach in story, but maybe that has just made her playable. She's not actually all that proactive and part of the story. I can't really say for sure on that one, but I mean that's like 20 years into the damn character, right? Whereas Amy,
I think Peach has a solo game on the DS where she saves Mario.
really,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But like, I'm not quite like. It's very weird in that like her power-ups are heightened forms of her emotions, and she's a girl, and I don't really know how that seems kind of okay. You really you really went there with it.
Mm-hmm. Whereas Amy, I don't know, she's just got the hammer and she just whacks people.
Yeah.
It's just a much more fun, kind of actually playable. She actually gets to do stuff and not just be a pink Sonic, I think that's another thing. Like, Amy is wildly different than Sonia the Hedgehog, if you remember her.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Cringe Town. See, there's the comic character right there. Anyway, no, so, like, Amy's got some actual, like, fun stuff that you can do with her, and she's, she is a trope, but just, I think, generally a more interesting trope that you can actually start to have a lot of fun with. Whereas Peach, not so much.
Yeah, I think Peach is someone who is... It's hard to play her not just as... Oh, she's cute, she's nice. That's all there really is there. She's nice. She doesn't really have any, like, depth to her. Whereas, like, although these are Sonic characters aren't the most deep people in the world, but Amy, out of most people, you could probably make a legitimate case that she's, like, insane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, there are some instances, like, even in, like, Sonic Boom, is where, like, she just orders hamburgers to try and, like, sway Sonic for a romantic meal in the middle of her, like, hut.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and it's stuff like in Adventure 2, where she'll only free him from prison if he agrees to marry her.
Yeah. That's really funny. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, there's stuff like that, and then there's just moments where she has a distinct personality, that I think carries through reasonably well through a lot of the different iterations of the character. And keep in mind, I don't read and watch a ton of Sonic media, but I watch enough of it.
Yeah.
That whenever
There's so much anyway, how could you?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But whenever Amy shows up, she's got a consistent character that, like, actually communicates something,
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to really pin down how to describe it, but she's smart. She actually can, do stuff for herself. Usually, if she's waiting for Sonic to rescue her, it's more to, like, try to get him. Like, it's more of a situation she put herself in, as opposed to something that she legitimately cannot get out of on her own. Like, I can't remember if I'm just imagining this, but I feel like I remember watching or reading something where she was, like, waiting for Sonic to rescue her, and then he just goes, like, off and does something else without getting her out of the situation, and she sighs and gets herself out of it because she was just sitting there waiting. And, like, so it's, I don't know, that was just pretty, like, a kind of thing that's
like, she was
in the
just
back of my head.
waiting because she likes the idea of being rescued by Sonic, like, romantically. But she could get out anytime she wants.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just making that up, or I feel like I've seen that somewhere, though.
Yeah, like, you say that, like, God, it's been ages, but when, like, Sonic X used to be on, this sounds like something that'd be an episode of that.
Maybe, and I never watched that, but I might have caught a bit.
I haven't seen it in years, though, so, again, I could be misremembering.
Yeah. What else with Amy? Because we're only about halfway through, and we're running dangerously close.
Well,
okay,
I don't know if you... Oh, sorry, Karen.
No, go ahead. You got something.
Well, I don't know if you know of the Archie Sonic comics. Like, they were pretty big over in the States, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know of the British equivalent?
There is, like, a different continuity or something?
Yeah, Sonic the comic. In that, Amy was the leader of the Resistance.
Okay.
That's why I was, like, going for a more serious take. She's basically, like, in that continuity, Sonic's, like, jerkish, like, cocky aspects are, like, heightened to the max, where he's just genuinely an asshole. Like, he's just genuinely a bad guy. Like, Super Sonic's even, like, this crazy demonic creature. But Amy in that is, like, she still has a crush on Sonic, but she also kind of just like gets everyone's shit together, and like Sonic still saves the day, but only because Amy told him to go there.
That's
Like
cool.
she's really proactive in that, and it's the thing I think the most of. She kind of filled in the role of what Sally is in a lot of the American Sonic versions. We didn't have that character over here, so like Amy kind of became her, but she still kept the aspects which we know her of, like she carries a big hammer. She's still like will go gaga over Sonic. But when Sonic's removed from the equation, she's like the most competent, straight-laced character. Which almost makes it more funny.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? Like the fact that she's got a head on her shoulders, and then like just in an instant, because OMG Sonic's so HAWT, she could like drop and just kind of become a schoolgirl. That's really funny to think about in those terms. Now let me ask you this before we go into like some more just design stuff. Do you ship Amy and Sonic, or do you like the idea of just kind of, they never actually get together kind of thing?
Well, like, this is gonna tell everyone in the world. Alright, it's like early in the morning, so this is where trashy old pre-UPS and Alfie Sonic headcans can come out. I used to have the biggest fan theory that Silver was Sonic and Amy's descendant.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because like that, I was like super hardcore. I was like, no, he's not. I know he's the Trunks equivalent, but no, it's Sonic and Amy. I used to like.
I know he's the Trunks equivalent. So wait, is it Shadow and Amy then?
The two biggest ones are Shadow and Rouge. Shadow and Amy's one, or Shadow and Rouge, or Sonic and Amy for Silver's ancestors. When in reality, who the fuck gives a shit? They didn't think about that.
They didn't think about it. They just ripped off Dragon Ball Z. They didn't think about how the relationship worked.
Yeah, but like, that was the only thing I had, is like at some point when like Sonic's just like Eggman's dead or something and he just can't run from it any longer, he just kind of gives in and just yeah, okay, sure. I've got literally nothing else. When you run at the speed of light, and you've been around the Earth so many goddamn times, I've literally done everything else fine. Domestic life.
Okay, then.
Which is, again, is kind of funny.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because like, Sonic's like the ultimate teen rebellion, like, he's like Mario's the straight-laced, like he's the guy you grow up to be. Mario's the cool guy. He's a default. Sonic's the rebellion teenager to that, who fucks up a lot. So therefore, Amy's kind of like the fear of adulthood,
commitment.
Like commitment, like sticking with one thing that probably will work out for you because she likes you a lot and she's just got her head on straight. But no, run away from that as fast as possible. Fight the robots.
Man, it's deep, dude. It's deep. Oh wow, I never thought about it like that, but I totally see it, and I think you just philosophize Sonic the Hedgehog. Good on you.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, I don't think we're getting any deeper than that, so let's go ahead and go on to some of the more superficial stuff. Character designs for Amy. Do you have like a preferred version or anything like that?
I'm always a sucker for the Sonic CD animated opening. Like that's my crack. Like the designs of Sonic and that with like how he moves. That's what I want the entire aesthetic of the series to be. It's only one thing, but Amy's in that, and I love the way she's drawn. But I will agree, like the color scheme of like the pink and the dress, like her original classic design, it's kind of air. Mm-hmm. In Adventure, one thing that always bugged me is when I first played Adventure, I swear to God, I thought Amy was in Echidna because of her hairstyle.
Oh.
Like,
yeah, because like obviously it's so obvious that echidnas wear their hair in dreads. Whereas...
Well, Knuckles set the standard, damn it. I don't know what an actual echidna looks like.
It has 4 penises.
I know that, and that will tell you something about the Sonic fandom. I don't know what it actually looks like, but I know how many penises it has.
I don't know what it looks like, but I know how many penises it has.
It's just my philosophy in life.
Yep. It's a good way to live, man. It's a good way to live. That's fair enough. There's something to the CD design that I do really like. Even the color scheme of the clothing, the orange skirt, green shirt kind of thing. I don't know, something about that's kind of working for me. It's just I have a very personal thing of just I kind of like oversaturation and just like what a lot of people consider gaudy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can really get into it. I like overstimulation of the senses in aesthetics for some reason. So maybe I just like that you don't usually see pink, orange, and green together like that, and it just kind of works. Now, it's obviously been modernized. It's a lot more sleek now with like kind of the red dress and the red and white boots, and it works. It's fine. I don't know. I'm not in love with it though. It's too much red for me.
Yeah. I also kind of like this. Will go through on design things. When Amy was introduced, she was kind of portrayed as around Tails' age, and it was very much a fangirl thing rather than something that would ever be a romantic interest. It was just she had a crush on Sonic because she was a kid and he was a cool hero. When they got to Adventure and had changed her design, they kind of aged her up as well. So that made it more romantic, like in that, oh, maybe they could be actually shipped. So like design-wise, because they are like a bit different in how they've like changed her, do you prefer Amy to be like that much younger than Sonic, or do you prefer them to be like closer?
It really depends on what they're planning to do with the thing. Like if they want to, like in comics, in the IDW comics, they seem to be actually playing with the idea of these two could have a relationship if Sonic would just get his shit together. And so if you're going for a direction like that, yeah, they should be roughly the same age. But if you are going for just the straight comedy of like the obsessed fangirl, I do like the idea of her being younger and completely in over her head, like the girl in high school that has, this will tell you how out of touch I am, that has pictures of like Johnny Depp or Justin Timberlake. That was my high school experience.
No, dude, that was my high school as well. People, like, all the girls in my high school still found Johnny Depp attractive.
Yeah, like that one, like the Johnny Depp, the NSYNC. I swear to God, it cracked me the fuck up when Lindsay Ellis showed her binders that she used to have full of Will Smith pictures. I lost my shit at that. So yeah, like if you're going for more of just like the straight comedy and portrayal of that stuff, then I'd say yeah, go for younger. But if you are ever actually planning to tease drama and not just comedy with it, yeah, maybe keep it same age, or probably keep it same age. It seems like a better idea.
Which is weird because it's like, it's a series about a cartoon hedgehog, and this is her fangirl, and we're also saying, oh, but if they would have tried drama with it, because they have!
They do! It's what they do, man. It's craziness, but yeah, that's how it works, man. I don't know, like, it's funny, I'm, like, trying to think of what else I can say about Amy's design, so I did the thing you should never do, and I googled Amy the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog on Google Images, and so I'm just looking at a lot of weird shit right now.
Like, I love the one where their gloves are off and you can see the blue hands. Oh, that's just top notch.
Oh yeah, you like the. I'm not seeing any of those right now, but I am seeing a lot of like the ridiculous pregnant imagery.
Oh my god,
that stuff is just weird.
When like there's like when I was like, okay, so like when you watch Sonic shorts back in the day, when they, or like even like shitty like Sonic Newgrounds stuff. And like Sonic dies was a thing, and that was like really funny. Like Amy kills herself after Sonic breaks his neck on a ring box. Like it was really dark, but it's also like we're so crappy, it's hilarious. There was like, if you cannot look at like the page of that, you scroll down, and there will always, without fail, be one Sonic character eating another with a giant pregnant baby. No! Oh no!
So what I've just done, folks, is I've screen shared my Google image search and just highlighting some of the cringiest fan art. So I'm not even going to bother putting some of this up because I don't want to just directly make fun of people.
That's not fair. Why do I have to suffer?
Because if they want to suffer, they can go look it up and look at the weird, cringy stuff. But you and I can get a laugh out of just looking at some of this random crap.
Like, I was like half Twitch. Like, I don't. Okay.
That's too much fun to do, though. I cannot tell you how funny I find cringy Sonic fan art.
Oh my god. Like the classic game of type your name, the hedgehog.
Yep.
Will never get old.
That's pretty good. It's funny, Dorkly did a whole bit about, like, they did a whole bit where it's like the assistant, as a running series, like what if video game bosses had an assistant, and oh
god, why?
I don't know. And the assistant managed to save or to kill Sonic like early in game 1. The assistant managed to kill Sonic early in game 1, and someone just goes, "Oh no, what will losers on the internet make creepy, sad fan art of now?" And it just was a bunch of images of the assistant in like really creepy, cringy fan art, and that was pretty good.
I'm sure that's great, Ian. I'm sure everyone listening is really enjoying that, as you just showed me Amy's vagina belly. I can't stop. The ones where they're like they're super like they draw every. There's the gloveless nipple is so wrong.
Yeah, if anyone wants a great game, just go ahead and do that. Type Amy the Hedgehog into Google image search. Make sure your safe search is off.
Do you want to know a bloody cursed image? Sonic the Hedgehog with a neck.
Oh my god, I've got to look it up. I've got to look it up now. With a neck. Not next. Neck. Okay. This, I don't know, I'm not seeing anything.
No, You literally just showed me. It was the last one with when they're.
Oh, okay, okay. Fair enough. No, I thought you were talking about like.
Okay, that's pretty brilliant, actually.
I thought you were referring to something specific. No. Oh my god.
Oh,
that's actually really funny. Oh. Okay. I think we're done. I think we're good on Amy. Do you have any recommendations for Amy the Hedgehog? Like, do you want like this is the best thing you'll find with Amy, like that gives you a great sense of the character? What would you recommend to people?
If you really want the best game she's been in, I'd say Sonic CD's like just I think gameplay wise is probably the best implementation of a character, because like she's actually in the game with her character tropes, which for the time I kind of respect. Getting less nerdy, Sonic Adventure, just play for her story mode. You kind of get everything there is to know about her. If you really want comedy though, check out Sonic Boom. I'm sure Ian has like mentioned like in the previous like of this different episodes you could check out, or like just clips you can find on YouTube. Just type in Sonic Boom Amy and you'll probably find something hilarious, because that show is like so
it's the best thing about Sonic Boom. Like it's kind of ridiculous how bad that game is, but how good that show is. Yeah, I also really recommend Sonic Boom. I think it does Amy's character pretty well. Sonic CD is kind of the obvious go-to, but I'd also say, you get a pretty good sense of her in Sonic Heroes. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, the IDW comic, issue number 2. That just came out a couple weeks ago. It's already sold out and going to a second printing, so I liked her in that. It was pretty good. She was kind of more serious, not really comedic in that. But
Did you see the fan response to that on Twitter?
no, I hadn't.
Like kind of like every Son Amy fan kind of exploded because they like people have been starved for that content ever since like Sega's just stopped doing it. They've just like her gag, if you notice, like since Generations onwards, just kind of disappeared because she's rarely there. So they just like, oh my god, Amy and Sonic are flirting, and that's probably why it sold out.
That's funny. All right, yep. So plenty of stuff there. Alfie, thanks for doing this. Sorry it was so last minute.
No, because you showed me those ungodly images, so fuck you.
Oh man, hours of laughs and then hours of crying in the shower. All right, everyone, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm Brit Without Fear.
And we are your geeky gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.